I want you to close your eyes. Close your eyes for a moment and just try to meet yourself where you are. That can mean something different for everyone. What I really want to do at this moment, this quiet moment before we begin our practice, is just to acknowledge what happened yesterday. And whether we realize it or not, every one of us is touched by that, and every one of us, our heart has broken just a little bit. And what I've learned over the years is that when our hearts break, the bigger the cracks are, the more space we have to fill those cracks with love. And I think that when humanity's darkest sides rear their heads, it gives us all an opportunity to decide to bring the best of humanity to the surface. Because the light always outshines the dark. It only takes one single candle to light a dark room, and the darkness can never ever put that candle out. And so each and every one of us has an opportunity right now to choose not to feel victimized, but instead to feel empowered, to do something. And it could simply be to show a little bit more love in our community, to show a little more sensitivity, to put a hand out. It could start right here in this room, on this mat today. Cultivating the spirit it's going to take to elevate above this experience. And so as we move today, I want you to treat yourself kindly. I want your gestures and your breath to be loving. And I want you to exude the way you want to be when you step out of this room. Go ahead and switch the crossings of your legs. And then humbly fold forward and bow your head. Some of you can easily put your head on the floor. Some of you can barely get your head to bend forward. And it doesn't really matter, because every one of us, as we bend forward, what we feel is the tension in the back of the body. We all have it. What I want you to aim for is allowing the stretch to happen right behind your heart. I want you to think about the bending of your spine to be in the mid-thoracic, and not so much about hinging at the hips and folding forward, but really about rounding your back and stretching the space in the back ribs. And then breathing. Breathe gently but deeply. Allow the breath to move into the tension. Now, as you continue to breathe and move and feel, I want you to very sensitively and very slowly start to walk your hands to the right. Move not just your hands, but your whole body. And allow your body to move over the right leg. And as you move right, you might change the sensations on the right side of the body, but more likely, the sensations changed on the left side of the body. And I want you to put your attention to the area around your left kidney. I want you to feel the lower left quarter of your back. And in no way ever in this practice do I want you yanking on your body or pulling something that's already feeling like it's pulled. I want you to soften. I want you to allow. I want you to break through the tension and bring some ease. Our muscles have an intelligence, and there's something that's already like built in to the muscles called the stretch reflex. There's something in the muscle called the Golgi tendon. And when you pull on it and you stretch the muscle, the intelligence tells the muscle to pull back in the other direction so that you don't overstretch. And so if we're pulling really hard on something and then we're forcing it to pull back even harder, we're not accomplishing the work we need in Yin. We need softness. Now, just as sensitively as you went to the right side, I want you to make a journey over to the left side. Don't make your muscle pull back on you. Find a place where you're just easing a little bit into the tension and not triggering that response to pull back. Dig into the space with your breath, not with your movement. Be patient with the time. And notice what you can cultivate with each moment. That last breath. Let's move to center first and then rise up slowly. And you can let out a big old ah. Yeah. And then unfold your legs, please, and let out another big sound. Another big sound. Right? And what I want you to do is don't shake them too much. Just let the legs out in front of you and put your hands behind your knees. You feel the heat? This is how the yin works. We squeeze and release. We allow the fluids of the body access, or we deny access, and then we flush the area and heat comes. And in that heat is healing. It's subtle, but it stimulates circulation, regeneration, lubrication. So know that sometimes just sitting still for a little while can be really valuable. Be patient with the sensations that arise. And see if you can start to decipher the difference between what is beneficial sensation and what is not. Your body will not lie to you. Your mind will manipulate the information. So listen to your body. Pay attention. Know that it will always speak the truth. Let's go ahead and open the feet a little bit wider. I think go as wide as the edges of the mat. It might make things a little bit easier. And honestly, if you feel like your tailbone is curling under you and you're having a hard time sitting, prop yourself up on something, like maybe 2 eggs. You know, you make them into the lotus booty and you create a seat for yourself. You can roll the mat or take a blanket. I'm just going to show you the lotus booty is like taking the 2 eggs and putting them like this on the floor, and then you sit on them this way. So the sit bones are supported, and then the top of your legs is supported. That could really be helpful. That's how you're sitting. Yeah. So if anybody needs to, like, just it's so. I mean, even if you don't need to, it feels really good. So I'm not lying to you. I only make suggestions that I actually think you would actually like, not to diminish you or make you feel like you're less than because you use props. Like, I am the most flexible person I know, and I use props all the time. I'm bringing these bags. Can we get 200 yet?
Yes.
I'm going to help you. Yeah, I want to help you because you're still on the blanket, so slow down for a second. Sit down. Is that a little better?
Yeah.
And then open those feet wide. I think that's better. Okay. All right. Let's take our hands behind us for a moment. The hands are behind you, and imagine you're like almost on a lounge chair. Like almost, like lean back a little bit. The hands will support you. And then lift your chest, lift your collarbones, and just very slightly lift the jawline. Don't drop your head back. That's it. Open. Feels nice. We were so folded up and closed. And I'm giving your body an opportunity to open. We've opened the crease of the hips, the crease of the knees, and we're just letting the air and the circulation move through you now. Relax your feet. Keep your chest wide so your breath can be even bigger and deeper. And then some of you look like you're leaning on your hands, and that's like could be really tiresome already, even on your wrists. So instead of leaning on the hands, I want you to push your hands into the floor, which will elevate you. It gives you the push and rebound effect. As opposed to leaning into gravity, we use gravity to create some rebound, and we push down to rise up. And we're only going to do 5 more breaths here, so really enjoy the space, because you're going to be folded in another moment. And so really big breath, really open chest, really open heart, really open mind. Soft body. What can we cultivate in these moments? And as you complete that last breath, begin to take your weight forward. Take your arms between your legs and just fold in again. What I'm going to ask you to do in this fold is to fold in a different place. So maybe you don't fold quite as far, or maybe you fold in a little deeper. I want you to not fold at the same place you folded last time. If hanging the head forward feels like too much for your neck, put your elbows on your knees with your arms bent and support your head. Remember, we don't want to pull so hard that the muscles have to pull back. I have this theory that if we meet tension with tension, it escalates and we create more tension. If we meet tension with grace, we start to diffuse it. Think back to the last time somebody was really angry with you. They were coming at you with all of their emotion. If you joined in and started yelling back on the defensive, the whole thing turns into a big old ugly fight. But if you realized that they had something really burning in them that needed to come out, and you had the grace to just listen and hear what they were saying behind their words, they were probably hurt or scared or whatever it may have been. And if you let them air it all out and listened, you probably could have an adult conversation about it. So we do not want to meet tension with tension. We do not want to meet the negativity with more negativity. We want to do the best we can to be graceful and diffuse it. This is what yoga teaches us. To show up with love, to do the least amount of harm, to be self-aware, to choose responses rather than reactions. I can't even imagine what I would act like in my life if I did not have this practice. So know that every moment that you're sitting here with a little discomfort in your body, you're being tested to see if you can meet it with grace, to stop the habitual patterns of meeting it with judgment, or fear, or ignoring, and diverting and going off and thinking about something else. Allow the little bit of confrontation and then test yourself to see how you meet it. Let's take 3 more breaths. Really good conscious breaths. Let each one soften you in some way. And then on your next inhalation, rise up to seated. You can make a sound if you need to. And what I'm going to offer you now is a suggestion of scooting your bottom forward. So if you're on props, you're going to scoot off them and forward. If you're not on props, you're going to move yourself to the middle of your mat. So just kind of like gracefully walk forward on your bottom, right? And then lay yourself down onto your back. If you were at the back of your mat and you lay down, you'd be laying on your neighbor's feet. So there we go. Alright, so now as soon as we lay down, take a moment to acknowledge how that feels. We got a little taste of opening up and releasing the tension when we lean back, like almost on the lounge chair. right? But right now you're completely laid out on your back, so like give your body a chance to release and let go. There's no muscle action when you're fully supported by the floor, so you have a really, really huge opportunity to release tension right now. Make sure that there is not one muscle in your body that isn't relaxed. It might take you a few moments. Acknowledge the support of the mat beneath you. Give yourself to it. I know when I have stuff on my mind, my body is still clenching in some way because I'm off in my thoughts and I'm not in my body. Sometimes I lay down into my bed at night and I actually have to watch myself unwind. I have to watch one muscle at a time let go until I actually give myself to the bed and the pillow. And I'm sure right now in some way you're holding up instead of letting down. Let the breath move through you. Let it soften you. What if we place the left hand on the heart and the right hand on the belly? And we tuned in more to the quality of the breathing. Changing the breath makes tremendous shifts in the body. We shift from the sympathetic nervous system to the parasympathetic nervous system. What did I say that backwards? We move into rest and digest and away from fight, flight. We want to learn how to take ourselves out of stress mode and into de-stress mode. It's a skill. Let's carefully bend our knees and place the soles of our feet onto the mat. And then without looking at your feet, just go ahead and take them a little wider. Move them to the edges of the mat. That's it. And then I'd like you to take both of those knees, without really moving your feet, just take your knees and let them tip over to the right side. So you roll to the inner edge of your left foot and the outer edge of your right foot, and we keep the feet on the edges of the mat. And then just test yourself again. Catch yourself. Are you clenching or gripping in any way? Can you let the weight of the legs down? I'd like you to keep your right hand on your body, but take your left arm up over your head and rest it on the floor. And breathe a little bit more deeply into the left side because it's quite open. There is a channel of energy up the left side of the body that is completely open right now. And so I want you to flush it. Open your eyes. There may be sensations arising in the hips, the knees, the lower back. And if there's anything glaring, if there's anything that's really uncomfortable, raise your hand in the air and I will come and help you. Sometimes we need to support the bones when we do this. It's sort of a deep internal or external rotation of the hip. And if the bones aren't hitting right, we certainly do not want any kind of impingement or any kind of compression in the hip joint or in the lower spine. So if you feel like you're not sure how to get rid of the discomfort, but you have discomfort, just tell me. Let me help you. Sometimes just a little change on the angle makes a difference. Let's soften our eyelids. Let's soften our lips and our jaw. Can you feel your breath moving under your right hand? That's how present I want you to be. That you feel your breath moving your body. You feel your breath moving the tension. Check in with yourself and make sure that you are being the best version of yourself in this situation. You are cultivating grace. Everyone you meet today, the rest of the day, is feeling their emotions, but they're stuck behind their busyness. And just a little bit of grace can make all the difference. We're coming into those last 3 breaths. I want you to do them with purpose. And as you complete that 3rd breath, we're going to bring the left arm down. You might feel it. Unexpressed tension right there. Let the arm rest as you slowly pull the belly to the spine and tip your knees back to center. Oh yeah. Pause in the center, both hands on the body. Give it up right there. Don't hold it in. Don't stuff it back down. Just let yourself soften. Let your breath move it. For a moment, no muscle action at all, just the weight of your bones surrender. So I'll take one nice deep breath collectively as a group. Big inhale, open mouth, and then just let your knees tip over to the left side. Try to keep them near the edges of your mat. Notice that when they drop, that sensations can kind of bubble up. And one side doesn't always feel the same as the other. So if it's different here and you need help, tell me. Keep your left hand on your body and take your right arm up over your head on the floor. And breathe. Sorry. What is your work right now? What confronts you? Is it a reoccurring thought? Is it a reoccurring sensation? Is it a fear of the stillness and the quiet? Or do you go willingly? Do you meet it all with grace? Every breath here in this practice is an opportunity for you to grow in the privacy of your own mind and the privacy, whatever privacy you can have on a mat in a room full of people. But like in your own experience, you are being given opportunities to be receiving information about your life. What are your thoughts telling you? What is your body telling you? The only thing you really have to do here is relax And breathe and listen. The more informed we are, the better we move forward. Is there a certain part of your body that keeps speaking to you? Is there one little group of muscles that's always clenching up when you're asking your body to relax? I promise you there's information in that. Is your breath moving beyond just the space under your left hand? How many other parts of your body actually feel you breathing right now? Every single cell in your body wants to be breathed. Every brain cell, every skin cell, every cell in your blood, they all thrive on oxygen. Breath is your calming factor. It's the way you communicate with the tension. It deserves your attention. Let's take 3 more breaths right into the spaces where you feel the pose the most. As you complete your 3 breaths, that right arm is going to come down first. You can say it. It's like so much better to say it. We suffer in silence. Our voices and our culture have been quieted for too long, my friends. We can't even let out a sigh of relief without wondering if someone's going to judge us. I mean, really, it is so insane how politically correct and obviously how politically incorrect everything is right now. Like, we just need to be human. Let's bring our knees up. Know that we all feel the same thing. No matter what age you are, what color you are, what religion you are, I don't care what. If you're 18 or 80, you come out of that pose and you feel it the same way. Because we're all the same. Let's go ahead and stretch our legs down the mat. Stretch our arms up over our heads. Just arms straight up, legs straight down, just like the way you would stretch when you were a kid. Go ahead and stretch. Stretch out your rib cage, reach through your fingers and your toes. So good. The arms are on the floor, stretching. I know it's hard if the wall's back there. You can bend your elbows and still stretch. All right. Now, I want you to bring your arms back down and bend your knees back into your conscious resting pose. And I want you to look around and grab 1 egg. There's eggs all over this room. And with the new storage, we actually were able to bring more eggs into circulation. We had some hidden in a box in the office. So this should be enough. I'll bring you one. Don't get up. You guys want one over there? I'll take 1 extra one. Yeah. props. Alright, so that egg is going right underneath your butt. So you gotta push down, lift your bottom up, and slide that egg right underneath the sacrum. The sacrum is that hard bony structure at the bottom of your spine. So I don't want it in your lumbar curve. The egg needs to go below the waistband of your pants. That looks good. Does that feel okay? Okay.
Oh, better.
Alright. You should feel supported. You don't want to feel like your pelvis is tipping off the end of the egg. You want to actually feel like the flat surface of that egg is really supporting your hips. Yeah. Alright, good. Everybody looks pretty good there. Now, take your right leg and stretch it down the mat. That can be uncomfortable. And so if that is uncomfortable, take your foot wider and see if that helps. Yes? If it doesn't help, bend your knee again. Yeah. Because you're nursing something right now. So the last thing we want to do when we're nursing something is agitate it. Your body's trying to heal. And we keep tearing it back open to where it was, right? So we gotta be sensitive. What's the quality of your breathing? What does it feel like if you take your right arm over your head? Does it feel spacious? Does it feel free? Don't suffer in silence. If it's agitated, adjust. Is that better? Now I even hesitate to put this suggestion out there, but I'm gonna because I know that we have some bendy people in the room. We also have some people that are struggling just to be where they are. So please be honest with yourself. If you're struggling where you are, if you're already thinking that you might already be too deep, please don't take this option. If the option feels like a good idea, try it. If you try it and you hate it, please don't be afraid to come out and go back where you were comfortable. The simple option is left knee toward belly and hold it with your left hand. So I don't blame you for wanting to try it, but I know for a fact that it's not good for everybody. So you have to decide for yourself. Remember, we're not after the stretch sensation in here. We don't want to have a pulling that's going to force your body to pull back on you. We want to be at ease. How's your breathing? The poses should allow you to be in a space that your mind isn't trying to divert you from what's actually happening in your body. We are working with every shape of the body in every moment to be one, to actually unite and connect mind, body, spirit, to feel some union physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually. The mind is tricky. Let's take 3 breaths here, wherever you are. As you complete your 3rd breath, just simply put your left foot back on the mat, knee bent. The knee is bent. Make sure that the left knee is bent. And then bring your right arm down. It's been up a long time. Bring it down. And the last piece would be to really carefully and softly bend your right knee and put it on the mat. Bend your knee and put the foot on the mat. And rest for a moment. Just rest there for a moment. Just be still and breathe. One of my favorite things about being up on this block, and I do it a lot in class, different kind of sequencing, is that when we lift the pelvis, we create a mild inversion in the body. And I think we all know, just from looking around the room, that gravity has an amazing effect on our stuff. Everything starts to hang. Yes? Right? Hey.
Notice that in the room.
But just thinking for a few moments, we could just turn that around. What if even just the skin could sort of drape the other way a little bit? What if the contents of the pelvis could spill upward instead of having all that pressure downward? Like, think about it in the most subtle way how amazing this is. Instead of being like, okay, now what's next? Like, can we open ourselves up to be amazed by what is right now? And then just being completely immersed in the amazement, could we then add to it the stretching of the left leg down the mat? And just pay attention to what that does. It just pulls the psoas, which is going to release your lower back. But if you're struggling with your lower back, it could actually trigger something and make it worse. So you have to be really sensitive. Maybe the leg goes a little wider so there's no pinching. Maybe it's pinching because you're squeezing your muscles and you don't even know it. And you can relax more. Unless you're paying attention, you're not going to know how to fix it. Let's take the left arm up overhead and let it rest on the floor. We're going to keep that left side open. We're going to make peace with the position that we choose, and we're going to stay. And we're going to breathe. And I love how on the other side there's a whole group of you that chose to respect, that you felt good where you were. And there were a whole group of you that chose to respect the option. And that everyone in here is mature enough to choose for themselves what makes sense. And so let's leave the left arm up on the floor, but just lift the right knee to the belly if you want to, and you only need your right hand to hold it. So left leg straight down, right leg to belly. And if it's too intense, you put the foot back on the floor. Every time we change the shape of the body, we still need to be mindful of the quality of the breath, our willingness to relax, or noticing the resistance to the relaxation. I love the way the mind creates diversion. We don't want to be confronted by discomfort in the body, so we start daydreaming. It's amazing. There are some universal human things that happen. We think we're unique. And in some ways, I guess we are. We all are. But there are some universal things about all of us, everywhere on this planet. How could we help but be habitually distracted when we have 5 senses that are designed to take input from the external world and give us information? And we don't have any switch to turn them off. How could we not be distracted? So instead of trying to turn them off, what if we were to learn how to just focus our attention in one direction that's really purposeful? Give ourselves completely to that. And in this practice, it's your breath. How are you using your breath? How are you breathing your body? How is your body breathing? We're going to take last 3 right here. Make them good. As you complete those 3 breaths, you're going to simply release your right foot back on the mat. Keep the knee bent, please. So the foot touches down. There should be a little bit of an ease. Then the left arm can come down by your side. And then the last part, the best part, is the bending of the left knee. So we soften that psoas. Yeah. I want you to sit with that for a moment. Don't be in a rush. I promise that we're going to take that egg out from underneath, but I just want you to give yourself a moment to neutralize. Give the intelligence of the body an opportunity to step back and come to that homeostasis. Only your mind can get in the way of that rebalancing. What we're going to do is push into our feet, and just as you lift your bottom, I want you to move your tailbone toward the front of the room. So you're going to push down, lift up your butt, and tuck your tailbone down and lengthen the lower lumbar spine. And then keeping that length, so keeping your butt squeezed a little bit, you're going to start to come down slowly. Take the egg out, yeah. Keep lengthening the tailbone toward the front of the room as you place your pelvis back on the mat. And then let those muscles unclench. Let them ungrip. Put both hands onto your belly. Make sure you're breathing below the belly button. Feel it, let go. Now, rather than straightening your legs out, I'd actually like you to keep them bent for a second. And the counterpose to what we just did would be to draw the knees to the belly. So let those knees lift, maybe one at a time. Oh yeah, you have to say it. I can't even imagine not saying it. Yes. Squeeze your knees in a little bit. Not so much that the body has to pull back in the other direction. All we need to do is counter pose. The hips were wide open, now they fold. It doesn't have to be that your knees are all up in your neck, right? Like just hug. Moderation. Imagine moderation in all things. You get to do everything a little. That sounds like a way better life to me than all or nothing. And we have to practice it in our bodies so that we can practice it in our eating, and we can practice it in our party, in our friendships, in our all things, in our sleep, right? In all of it. Moderation. Now we're going to do a little bit different spinal twist today. We're going to keep holding the left knee to the body. Just hold the left knee. Hold the left knee to the body. And then release your right leg straight down onto the floor, all the way straight down. And just for the first 5, maybe 8 breaths, I just want you to feel it like that. Yes. Maybe a little bit of push-pull. You could even flex your feet. It feels really good to stretch out the soles of your feet. Pull the toes up to the shins and spread all of the toes out on both feet. Yeah, so everything just awakened. It's really, really nice. I'm just going to take a few breaths. Feel how that decompresses the lower spine. One pushing, one pulling, feet flexing, toes flaring. It's really good. And then as we start to make a transition into the spinal twist, I want you to take the flexing of the feet away. Just soften. And slide your right foot over to the left corner of your mat. So the right foot is going to slide to the left corner of the mat, that means when we do the spinal twist, that foot's going to end up behind you. Yes. Now, the left leg is going to twist all the way around to the right side. And you're going to feel that twist in your hips, mid-spine, maybe even chest and shoulders. As that left knee goes over to the right side, let this go all the way around. Leave this one here. Leave this one as it is. And just twist this one. Yeah. And now, open your left arm out on the floor and look to the left. Maybe even bend your elbow so you give your neighbor some space. And the right hand can go onto your belly. Right hand on your belly, left arm, elbow bent, palm facing up. Let's bend the left elbow and put the palm facing up. Yeah. There you go. Now I never said that you had to touch your your left knee to the floor. So if some of you went all the way and you put your knee to the floor, I wouldn't really consider that moderation. It's okay if the left knee is in the air. I want you to feel an equal amount of twisting open in the left side of the upper body as you feel twisting in the lower body. So find where you're balanced. Find where the breath moves freely. Feel free to put an egg or a blanket under the left leg if it needs support, or just let it hang there. And it's okay to roll onto the outside of the right hip. It's okay to roll onto the outside of the right hip. Is there clenching or gripping?
Yes.
Is there pulling that's making your body pull back at you? What is the answer then? If there's gripping, why? Because you went too far. You're forcing your body, and it's protecting itself. And so if you were just to back off, you would feel that muscle tension ease away, because there would be no longer a need for protection. I'm telling you, the body will never lie to you. It doesn't have that skill. The language of sensation is all in the truth. It's just what we do with the information. We're in our last minute. Let's really try to enjoy it. Notice how many body parts feel the breathing. There's just nothing better than breathing your whole body and having your whole body breathe. Somehow we soften the tension and we help it move to the periphery and eventually let it escape and effervesce out of the body. It's actually quite amazing what we can do in the stillness of this practice. to turn your head in toward the center and bring your left arm in towards your body, so at least we neutralize the upper part first. I don't know if you realize how intense the twist is in the lower body, so I really want you to pull the left leg towards your belly as you roll onto your back. Hold the leg close to you as you roll onto your back, and just lay there for a moment with that push-pull. And once you feel like everything is kind of flat and neutral, then you can release your left leg down. Let it go. Yeah. Feet can have a few inches between them. Now when you're ready, and not a second before, not just because of my suggestion, bless you, but really truly when you feel ready, we'll explore the other side. It starts with a simple pulling of the right knee to the belly, and we're going to lay on our backs with that for a little bit. We're going to start to flex the feet and flare the toes. So you feel the fascia in the soles of the feet getting a little stretch. Do that with some enthusiasm. Push out of your left heel. Pull your right knee in. Pull your toes up to your shins and feel your ankles active, flexing. And then try to spread all of your toes. Without looking at them, can you imagine if there's space between every single one of those toes? It's hard for me to get my pinky toes to go out. They don't seem to listen to me like the other ones do. But I work on it, and it's getting so much better. And as the pinky toes awaken, I have better lateral support. I can't tell you how many times in my teenage years and in my early 20s I sprained my ankles, I twisted my ankles. My feet just rolled under me just from walking. Not even forget all the athletic stupid stuff I was doing, how many times I injured them, stepping off the step from step aerobics and all of that. But I guarantee you, if I were to do those same practices now, I would have a level ground to stand on. I have a wider base and I have lateral support on my feet just because of yoga. Some body parts need to awaken. Let's soften some of that flexing now and let it be easy. You can actually feel the stimulation, how nice and easy it feels, like in the soles of the feet, they're awake and alive. And then the left leg is going to slide across the mat. It slides to the right side. And then with some awareness to moderation, let's make that twist to the left. The right leg is going to go, the hip is going to go. You could even turn onto the outer left hip. But you don't have to touch your knee to the floor. Just rotate your spine. Rotate your spine. Put some support under the right leg if you need it. And then open your right arm up, bend the elbow, palm facing up. And let yourself be there. It's fine as long as it's closed, right? complete our last few breaths here. You know we gotta come out carefully, because when we go in deep and we go in big, we have to be respectful. So let's turn the head to the center. Bring that arm back down. Pull the belly to the spine, pull the right leg to the body, roll out, and just continue to hold your leg in. I am what? I am grace. I am breath. I am love. I am a little lighter. I am committed to bringing a little of that light out of this room. I am listening. I am awake. Go ahead, you can release the right leg down. If there's any little movement in your body that you need, take it. Otherwise, we are ready to settle right in for Shavasana. And slowly begin to awaken. Start with your breath. Breathe life right into your body. Let's put our hands onto the belly or onto the heart. And just take a moment to acknowledge how blessed we are. In our blessings and in our privilege, can we also acknowledge in that abundance how somehow we might be able to serve and support those not feeling so fortunate today. In knowing that we're okay, we also know that we can help. And that might just mean spreading a little more love, being a little more light. Be a good friend. Be mindful of your words. Be aware of how you show up wherever you go. This is what it is to live the life of the yogi. Just to be a little more aware. And so it starts with even an awareness to how you're going to move. Your body might still have a couple little twinges. Can you be respectful and mindful? Maybe the belly stays to the spine. Maybe we bend our knees or roll on one side. I don't know. Find the safest way to return to a seated position. Choose to be mindful in your actions. For all of you that were new to class today, there's some new faces. For those of you that are new to this practice, I welcome you. I thank you for your presence. And for those of you that just keep coming back week after week, I love you and thank you. I think we're growing. Slow and steady wins the race, I think. So be diligent about your practice. Be mindful about your life. Continue to come back so that we continue to awaken new parts of our consciousness, our bodies. It's really important right now. Let's put our hands together in front of our hearts, and then we'll make the sacred sound of Om, just together, one sweet sound. And it's just this universal sound that actually comes up from every human being. It's the first sound, A-U-M. A is the first letter and the first sound of every alphabet on the planet. It's the first sound a human baby makes. Right, so A. U is just the continuation of that sound, and the M is the culmination of the sound where we get the reverberation, where we raise our own vibrations. So it's not some weird, quirky religious thing, nothing to be scared of. It's a sound, and we're going to do it so that we raise our own vibration. Let's seal up a little bit from the pelvic floor and lift the lower belly. And then take a deep breath in. Om Shanti, Shanti, Shanti. May this practice always bring peace, peace, peace to each and every one of us, and then allow that peace to trickle out a little bit into the world. Namaste. Namaste. Namaste.